Escape from New York, the tax base has been fleeing the Empire State. And that was before a socialist was the front runner to be mayor of its biggest city. The top 1% pays more than 40% of all income taxes in New York. That means social services, benefits, healthcare, education. Well, those people are packing their bags and they're moving south. The numbers just don't lie. Over 125,000 New Yorkers moved to Florida alone, and with them went a combined $14 billion in income. That's a big ouch right there, Gary. Do you think that the flow of people down south to southern states like beautiful Florida, is that going to stop when Mamdani's elected?
Let me just state, if able, business people and capital will flock to where it's treated best. And all I can tell you, in my city in Florida, you have stores, restaurants, schools, hospitals, you name it, going up because people keep coming in, and they are coming from New York and other states, other blue states that continue to disrespect the taxpayer with high taxes and ridiculous regulations, fees, fines, mandates, you name it. And it is stunning to me, after we have these statistics already, that the voters in New York would vote. This man's, I wish he was a socialist. He makes a socialist look like a Republican. That's how bad he is. And unfortunately, he's not even hiding it. When he says the means of production, that is right out of the Marx booklet. And it is going to be bad news if he follows suit. And I am heartbroken for this city, because I can promise you the tax base is going to be running out of here.
Yeah. Can I just
of course.
Cascades on itself. This started during COVID. Bad policies drove people out. And I always say the people who came back after COVID are not the same demographic. They're your Mamdani voters. I was just walking around yesterday and thinking that all the things I loved about the city had changed so much. Not just, we talk about the crime issues every day, we talk about the taxes. But for me personally, I used to love staying in the city on a weekend to go have great brunches at crowded spots where you would run into friends, or walking through the park. None of my friends are here anymore. Nobody's here. I walk around.
We're friends.
You're here, thank God. But nobody else is. And so when I walk around neighborhoods that I used to love to just, shop and stop for this or stop for that, it feels so different that all of this that I'm paying for, I'm not really getting the same enjoyment out of it. And now I fly away, with my feet, or literally fly on the weekends because I don't want to be here.
Which raises the question again, why did Kathy Hochul, governor of New York, endorse Mamdani? She has said she doesn't agree with him on his tax policies, that he wants to hike taxes on New Yorkers, but she must see the same data that we just talked about too, and knows that her tax base is leaving the city as taxes are going up. And he wants to just hike them even further, impose a 2% income tax on Big Apple residents making more than $1 million a year. He wants to raise the corporate tax too, to match something like New Jersey, which that's a whole separate topic. We know that's not good.
Yeah.
Why, Brianna, would she endorse him if she says she doesn't like his tax policies, and we can assume she knows what that's doing to the state?
Because Kathy Hochul is the worst governor in America, and I don't say that lightly. That being said,
He's got competition for
Gavin
that.
Newsom is definitely neck and neck on this one, but Kathy Hochul legitimately hates everything America stands for. And it does give Elise Stefanik a little bit of a boost, obviously, going into this gubernatorial race. Back to the wealth flight. Mamdani is following a very similar playbook to what happened to New York in the 1960s and the 1970s, right? You go back to Mayor John Lindsay, he expanded welfare programs, he hiked the tax rate up, and wealthy New Yorkers saw tax rates, they saw fiscal irresponsibility, and they did see crime, and they left. And by 1975, New York City was bankrupt. It took a long time to get New York City back to where it is, at least right now. So the fact that Mamdani now wants to almost not only double down on those policies, but actually expand on the things that cause the problems, should be a warning sign to anyone in New York with money or sensibilities to get out now.
And there's more to it than the economy. If you just watch what he says on criminals and jails, it is... When I travel the subways now, there's a lot of police officers there, and you know what's happened now? There's less crime because of that. And now he wants to go the opposite route. And the #1 job of any leader of any community, state, or country is to protect the citizenry. How do you protect the citizenry? You make sure you have enough people out there that protects them, #1. And if you do the crime, you are going to do the time. And he is the opposite of both that. And it's stunning that anybody anybody who has families here would vote for this type of crazy.
Brian, you know, we are hearing some reports that maybe AOC has plans or is working and developing on plans to run for president herself 2028.
Huh?
So I wonder if you have someone like Mamdani win the mayoral election, would that be a win that would help her advance that cause, maybe get closer to the White House? Or would it actually be a gift for the Republicans? Because everyone would have to reckon with how bad Mamdani's policies are. Would it be a setback for her, actually?
I think, you could disagree with me on this, but I think if Mamdani wins the mayoral race, she views that as a bigger glide path in the Democratic Party, because what it says to her is that that wing of the party is unchallenged. Kathy Hochul not standing up shows how weak she is. And she may be the worst governor in America, but she's more centrist, a little bit more centrist than Mamdani. She gave up. She endorsed him. So I think, and by the way, AOC thinks about being president every morning of every day of her life. Like this, it's not like she's just started considering this, okay? But I think she does see an opening. The party has zero leadership. This is a great time to be AOC. That party has zero leadership. There's nobody who can step into the middle. She knows it. She's out there making her case every day, almost unopposed. It's her in that party is like Mamdani running in New York City.
You know,
there's no good competition.
We've heard that a lot in the past, and it wasn't true, but that is about as true as can be right now. There is no centrist when it comes to the Democrat Party right now. Fetterman is the centrist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the amazing part about it. And by the way, I don't even think they talk to Fetterman anymore. And he's the one that's the most logical at this point in time. It's just amazing to watch.
I don't think an extremist can win in a national race. I think the reason Mamdani has a platform here is, again, because the demographics of New York have gone increasingly more progressively left. I think the American people overall as a swath have actually rejected everything that he stands for and everything that she stands for. So that's the good news there.
Well, I wonder why we don't hear more from the business community kind of speaking up to raise concerns about Mamdani. At least I feel like I have not heard a whole lot.
I have, but it's too little too late. Nobody was thinking about it in advance. Nobody on the Republican side was saying we need a good candidate, because they're like whack-a-mole. They pop up, these socialists, like you never know when they're going to do
and
it.
They can't be too loud, the business community, because they have an idea that he's going to win.
And then they have to.
And they have to.
Work with them.
Right.
That's a good point.
They are against it, though, but it's too little too late, all this fundraising now. The problem is the absence of a viable candidate that's as, magnetic as he is to a certain degree, that will come up with the solutions to say, he's going about this all wrong. Here's how I would do it, and here's how it would be better.
Right, which is why I always think that Mamdani's rise and his, finding the spotlight is more of an indication of the lack of qualified and good candidates, not so much a testament to him as a candidate.
They look for weak spots. They look for when the other side doesn't have that, and that's when they pop up.
He pounced.